A psalter is, of course, filled with psalms. I want a page that contains a whole psalm if possible, so I'm choosing this page, which has almost all of Psalm 61. Also, I like the look of this seal dog dragon thing. If I start at the top of the page, I should be able to fit the whole psalm on one page. The next step is to find the pixel to millimeter conversion. Let's start with the big measurements. I'll take a screenshot of the whole manuscript page and measure the height in pixels. Some simple math gets me two numbers that will allow me to convert millimeters to pixels and vice versa. That, in turn, allows us to measure the size of the text area, 212 by 136 millimeters, and the size of the top and outer margins, 28 by 54 millimeters. We don't have to measure the line height, since we can just divide the text area by the number of lines. So, with the necessary measurements to measure the page, place the text area on the page, measure out the text area, and divide it into lines, we can start laying out our guidelines. Manuscripts from the early medieval period tended to use dry point, a fancy name for taking a dull metal point and engraving a groove onto the page. Later manuscripts used diluted ink or, more commonly, metal point, basically a pencil made of a soft metal like lead or silver. Graphite pencils, like the ones we use today, weren't invented until the 18th century. Our lovely fish manuscript uses metal point. You can tell from the characteristic grainy pattern. Although I've been experimenting with silver point drawing, I'm not fully confident with it yet, so for this little project, I'll just use a mechanical pencil. Notice, by the way, that in addition to the usual horizontal guidelines, this manuscript also has two extra vertical guidelines. The left guideline guides the placement of the initial letter, and the right guideline provides a sort of buffer zone that a word can overflow into a little bit before they have to break it with a dash. Now, we zoom in as far as we can for our last measurement, the x height. X height, sometimes also called the waistline, refers to the height of a lowercase x, or a, or u, or I, you get the idea. If you're a beginner calligrapher, I'd recommend drawing a separate guideline to mark off the x height, but with enough experience, you can usually just hold the x height in your mind. Our zoomed-in measurements get us an x height of roughly 5.7 millimeters. It's difficult to measure nib width from the digital image, so I'll rely on experimentation.